All right, we're about to ready to begin the Rochester School District Board meeting. Just remember, you're giving consent to the recording if you're staying in the room. Microphones are in the ceiling. They will pick up all sorts of side talk, so keep that to a minimum. And Mr. President, it is 6:30. It's all yours.
Call to order and pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Heather.
Here.
Susie.
Here.
Leo. Present. Francisco is excused. Here. All right, we'll jump to the any public comment. Now we have our consent agenda. Everybody has a chance to look through that. If there are any questions, for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, we'll jump to the superintendent report.
All right, it's going to be a quick, short one.
Okay.
We'll highlight a few things that maintenance custodial are working on. We seem to have a few roof projects right now. So the RMS roof should get up and going most likely early next week. So that one will be a pretty visible project on Highway 12 as people are driving by. So I just want you to be aware that there'll be some construction people at RMS. It'll go pretty quick for that size roof. Boys and Girls Club currently, roof doctors out there working on that roof and should be pretty well wrapped up by end of this week, first of next week. I have heard from Boys and Girls Club that they've been pretty good out there with them. So when I talked to someone at Boys and Girls Club, so and then also let you know that a couple years ago we had the GMES roof done. There's that small building as you're looking at GMES off the left-hand side. That is the boiler room. And we've been talking to you about the boiler room would get a new roof as it was in need. And I saw their truck out the other day, and so they started today, and that will be a pretty quick roof. It's not a ton. So hopefully they don't find any surprises in that one. I will tell you, chatting with Ed, the Boys and Girls Club, there was maybe a little bit more rot found in that roof, if you believe it or not. And so there was a little extra cost to go with that one to replace some of the fascia stuff for boards and things like that. It's going to get painted and get those things will get painted up, and it'll also get some new gutters on it as well. And so Ed's working hard to get that project wrapped up, but that's looking pretty good. A couple other projects, RHS parking lot lights. So if you've been in the RHS parking lot in the dark, and maybe dark will become more important thing here if times change or don't change here. So doing some LED replacement. Many of those parking lot lights, they're 38 years old, those fixtures. The other thing we're finding is that the type of wire that they put in there had been rubbing inside the pole. And so found that some of the lights weren't working because they were shorted. And so David Deal is working on replacing the wiring in the pole down to the junction box and then putting a new LEDs up there. So it should be nice, bright, and all functional when dark comes, and we're gonna need them, especially during those basketball seasons, wrestling season time frame. So go figure. Hey, there were some water leaks at RHS on the irrigation system. New news, right? Not really. So as the team fixed that leak we had a couple months ago underneath the shed out by the baseball fields, the same line sprung a new leak, but closer to this is like at the visitor bleachers across on the other side of the football field next to the football tower. So you can see the nice flood we had. Fun thing there is Ed and his team got to run a concrete saw and cut out a nice section of concrete because the pipe is underneath that what the bleachers are sitting on. Luckily, the leak the bleachers don't have to get taken apart. They were able to cut away a section of it, get down to it. They're going to fix that section of pipe and also fix this nice little, whatever this is, that we don't need. Nothing like having 3 elbows in 24 inches of pipe coming off a 3-inch line, because that makes a lot of sense. So we'll get that, his team will get that fixed. They'll get it put back and then get that concrete poured back here before school starts up. So it's a good thing. The other picture down here, you can see some of the fascia in the roof of the Boys and Girls Club area over there. Obviously, it's been pretty wet in that area for some time. So custodial is on schedule with their cleaning. So that is looking great. And I actually have RHS parking lot lights on there twice. So it's an important project. We'll make sure we illuminate it. So couple of things just before I took off for vacation, the building, the district office directors and the building admin, we did get together I got them together and we did 2 days of training. And actually I spent a day with them. The second day I was in bargaining all day. So Laura and Maggie and Russ took over the day. But we did some things with them in that first day. One of the things that I felt was going to be an important thing is for us to all get to really know each other. If you haven't noticed, our administrative team, over the last 4 or 5 years, we've had quite a bit of turnover there. And our longest tenured principal is 3 years. Okay, so that's a bit of a shift. And so we used Strength Finder by Gallup. It is a kind of a tried and true, and looking at what strengths do we have on not only the district office here, but what strengths do we have in the buildings, and then how can we use the strengths of our folks to move forward, and so relating those strengths to how we lead, how we develop systems, and how we're going to implement that strategic plan that the board approved this a year ago, right? And so well received. We got to learn a lot about kind of where people are in their leadership abilities, and it really is a strength, right? We're not working on weaknesses and whatnot. What we're really trying to do is we're trying to figure out what are the things that we can really get at, so that because we have some great leaders and so we can move forward with that. So that was well received. They really appreciate it. We kind of did that with some relational capacity, just developing the relationships, breaking bread together. There were some activities around. We had a donut theme since Danny lost the SIP presentation and had to bring donuts, right? Because she was the longest winded during the SIP presentation. So we ended up doing a donut themed 2 days. Where we had some donut holes, we had some donuts where they had to decorate, to do some other things to show us, kind of who they are, and just have some small talk and really get to know one another. We did bring Russ on, we brought Chris Clark on. They were at both those days, and so really trying to bring them into the team as we move forward. We also talked a lot about strategic plan. We specifically did some work around goal 2. And where we need to go with our strategic plan. What things are we doing in buildings already that they feel relate to that plan, and where do we have some gaps in maybe trying to meet the goals of the strategic plan? So we talked through that. Maggie talked through some school improvement planning with our. That is a year-round. It's a cycle that just it never ends. It starts over again. Each June, as we start looking at our end of school year data and start planning the goals for the next year. So we did some work around that. And then we were also graced with the presence of a national math fluency trainer that was brought in. So ESD was going to bring in Jennifer Bay Williams, who is a national trainer on math fluency. ESD was going to bring them in. They didn't get enough people to register. And so they canceled, and we had like 10 or 15 people signed up. So Maggie was able to get together. We were able to put it on, invite other school districts, and we had enough representation from other school districts. It didn't cost us a dime to bring her in. And on top of that, the trainer said, "Hey, I'm willing to do some extra time. What would you like?" And we're like, "Would you do an hour each morning with our administrators?" She said, "Yes." So our administrators got 2 hours of math fluency training for basically nothing. The time we had, we did entice them with more donuts though. So they're pretty enticable with donuts, that administrative team. So we had a great trainer. So we'll continue that work in a couple of weeks. Actually, in a week and a half, we're going to be going off to a conference in Tacoma, a PLC Institute, and then we'll come back and do a couple of days more of training in some of these same areas and get ready for the start of school, because we're on that downhill slope. Yeah, Maggie, you got something?
Just a note of Jennifer Bay Williams, who came. She consulted with OSPI, the state, on the revision of our math standards that are being adopted this year. So we really felt fortunate to be on the forefront of the new adoption and getting that expert here. So
yeah, she's the author of many of the new revised standards. We're able to have her in house. So awesome. Yep. So it was a great thing. Great thing.
Thanks, Carrie Black. Carrie took the lead on that way more than I did. So.
So last thing I have for you is just some upcoming events. We have board work session in a couple of weeks, and then board meeting at the end of August. 6th grade jumpstart and 9th grade orientation is going to be August 31st. Those will be morning to early afternoon events. September 2nd through the 4th will be success conferences for K-8. And we are going to do something a little different at the high school this year instead of success conferences. So 9th grade is still going to have the orientation on the 31st, but on September 2nd, the only students at the high school are going to be freshmen. We're going to bring freshmen in. They're going to divide them up into really small groups. They will go through the kind of their class schedule and whatnot, but they're going to be divided into groups of about 4 to 6, and everyone's going to be assigned a teacher. And that's going to be like a mentor teacher that they're going to meet with multiple times throughout the year, trying to make sure we get these 9th graders off to a great start. We're going to keep, we're just going to have a day with them. And so Kevin and Kelsey are working hard to plan that. The high school staff was totally on board going this route and getting kids in, and they want to get their hands on just that freshman and get them off to a good start. The following day, so that Thursday and Friday, all the rest of the kids in the high school are going to show up while the rest of the district continues to do success conferences. So we're going to see how that works this year, and then we'll do a debrief and figure out what we're going to do moving forward, if that's a plan that we'll continue to do and whatnot. So and then all kiddos September 8th, right after Labor Day, will be in the building, and then we have our next work session September 9th. So it's kind of the next month and a half-ish calendar. So before you know it, kids are going to be back. It's going to be first day of school. So it's going to go really fast now at this point. So cool. All right, that is my report for this month.
All right. Yep. So next on our agenda is the highly capable plan. We are required annually to review and approve. Maggie, thank you for giving us.
So here we are. So as Grant said, that we are required annually to approve our highly capable plan. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of overview of this. We don't have a lot of changes to this program, but happy to answer any questions for that. But as you know, the definition of highly capable is a state definition, and these are students that perform or show potential for performing at a significantly advanced academic level as compared to their peers. Outstanding abilities are seen within intellectual aptitudes, specific academics, or creative domains. So a wide range of what we would consider somebody who's highly capable. And these students are present just not only in the general populace, but also in protected classes as well. That's something that OSPI asks us to focus on. So you may have learned, or you will learn, that the legislature did enact some changes to the referral and the screening process this past year. In this past legislative session, we anticipated that, so we actually are ahead of the curve a little bit on some of our universal screening and some of our placement guidelines. So we did not have to make any changes, but but know that was enacted for the 26-27 school year, but we kind of a little bit of an overachiever there. So we do universal screening in 2 grade levels. So we screen all students in 2nd grade using what's called the NNAT, which is an aptitude screening. And then we screen all of our students again in 5th grade using iReady. And that is something that the legislature does now require, that we do 2 grade levels of universal screening. In addition to that, anybody can be referred to highly capable outside of 2nd and 5th grade. Parents can refer, students can then refer, community members, and obviously teachers can refer themselves as well. When we refer our, when we look at our data for our students to see if they qualify for highly capable, we look at multiple data points. And so we really look at what's called a triangulation of data. So we look at, aptitude, also how are they doing academically in their performance. And then we also get teacher input and then family and community input as well. Approximately 3 to 5% of students should be within our highly capable program. We spend a lot of time working with teachers and families about the difference between bright and highly capable, because we have lots of bright kids, right, in there, but highly capable is again kind of harkening back to that definition where there are some uniquely special talents and aptitude there. In a highly capable student. And then services are dependent on strengths. We do provide a continuum of services. One of the things that we really focus on is that highly capable is service, not a place. That is kind of long against the days, is like you're in, the special high cap class, or you're in, the gifted class. We really try to focus on services that we offer that are definitely more fluid and less stagnant, like, 7th period is high cap period, or this is the high cap teacher type of thing. So we try to make that more fluid and understand that it's a service, not a place. You can see here, thinking of our services, what tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So obviously there are varying needs of students based on a student's abilities and aptitudes. So tier 1 is every student has an individual service plan that's created in collaboration with the teacher, our highly capable teacher, students when appropriate. That tends to be more of middle school, high school kiddos, as far as what their service plan looks like. What do they really want to work on, and what interests them? We provide differentiated instruction and enrichment opportunities through 6-12. And a lot of those extend outside of the classroom days. And these are things that are open to all of our students, but do have a specific interest for our highly capable, whether that be college and high school, Running Start, New Market, those types of things. Tier 2 are pull-out activities by the highly capable teacher, and these are grouped based on identified interests or aptitudes. So, for example, last year, Mrs. Patton did a unit on robotics. And so students in the highly capable program that were interested in robotics, they got to do a robot unit. She actually had Mr. Meyer and Mr. Coos from the middle and high school come and talk to those kids about that, just kind of establish that pathway. She did a creative writing unit. So there were students that really loved to write or really loved, kind of imagination. So she did a creative writing unit on that. So again, stressing that it's really a service. Students can opt in and opt out of that within the highly capable program. Because honestly, there are some kids that just were not that excited about robots. And shockingly enough, there are some kids that are not that excited about writing. So, but she really does try to do a good job differentiating based on the needs and desires of our kids in the program. In middle school, we do offer a little bit more of a stagnant program there. We do what's called telescoping in math. It is tracked as the honors math class, and that's where students get a year and a half of math every year. So 6th grade get all of their 6th grade and part of 7th grade math standards. 7th grade get all of 7th grade, part of 7th grade and all of 8th grade math standards. So that enables them to get their Algebra 1 class in 8th grade, which will then enable them to have an Algebra 1 credit going into high school. We offer an ELA enrichment for 6th through 8th grade, and we do that during first period. High school, obviously, we have pre-AP, AP, college and the high school running start, Newmarket, lots of different options for students that want to accelerate. We do have tier 3 that is not used often. However, it is there for students that we would consider most highly capable, and that is grade level acceleration, single subject acceleration, and then independent study courses through 6 through 12, and then early infants kindergarten as well. That does happen. It tends to be at a parent request, or when we have a student that we're really having a hard time meeting the needs academically of them in their current grade level placement, knowing that social and emotionally, a 4th grade student may need to be with their 4th grade students, but we want to make sure that they're excelling at a level that keeps them engaged and feeling like that they have a place in our schools. So like I said, it doesn't happen often, but we do have those services in place. This is just to give you an idea of the percentage of our students that are in our highly capable program. We are pretty stagnant between 6.5% to 7.5% of our population is identified as highly capable. And as I had mentioned earlier, one of the things the legislature has asked districts to do is to really look at protected classes and make sure that do the best that we can to make sure that we are identifying students in certain classes that match our district academics. So what you can see there is our district percentages of certain programs like 504, free and reduced lunch, MV, special education, multilingual, and then compared to what percentage they make for our highly capable program. We do have some disparities. We are not unlike other districts as far as that goes. One of the things that we do to combat that is when you go back to the identification and looking at that data that we use to identify, is we use what's called locally normed data. So we don't use national data to identify students for highly capable. We use data that's been normed specifically for Rochester. So that we have seen an increase in that. It does take a little bit, and we're not going to qualify students for highly capable that we don't feel like that's a service that they need. But it is always good to be mindful that we're looking to make sure that we're identifying students that maybe typically would not have been identified or may be overlooked. So, and that's our highly capable program. So, do you have any questions?
Thanks, Maggie. Questions for Maggie? All right. Could I hear a motion to approve the 26-27? Thank you, Susie. All seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, so like highly capable, the transitional bilinguals program.
Yep. Is another one that we need to review every year. And this is our multilingual program. If you want to go to the next slide, it does talk about what our multilingual program from a state level is called the Transitional Bilingual Instructional Program, or TBIP, as you might be heard it called. And this is a multilingual program that serves primary language who is not English and whose English skills are not yet proficient in their language. These students also receive instruction to help them develop their English proficiency while learning their academic content. So this is the state side of our multilingual program. So there's a federal side and a state side. TBIP is the state side of that program. Okay. To qualify for the TBIP program, we screen our students using what's called a home language survey. So anytime a student enrolls in our district, they get what's called a home language survey. And it does ask families a series of questions about languages spoken in the home other than English. That is required by not just state law, but federal law. And the form is something that we get from OSPI. So based on that screening, we determine who needs to be screened for multilingual services, for English language development services. And so we use what's called the WIDA assessment there to screen. And for students that do not demonstrate English language proficiency in the 4 domains, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, then they enter into the program. Students that are in our TBIT program are assessed annually using the WIDA assessment to gauge their level of proficiency in English and growth towards proficiency. Typically in Rochester, students are in program for about 5.5 years before they exit out. Some exit out a little bit sooner, some exit out a little bit later, depends on the kid, right? But typically our average is 5.5. We do have many multilingual programs who are not in TBIT because they've demonstrated the language proficiency. So that's when we think about, and I'll go over the percentage of our students. That isn't an accurate percentage of students who are multilingual in our district. They're just our students who are multilingual in our program, because we exit out about 10% of our population, our multilingual population, every single year. So they're still our Rochester kids and they're still multilingual. They're just no longer served in our program because they've mastered their English. We have 3 different components of our program structure. Dual language is our most predominant structure now in our kindergarten through 3rd grade, starting next year. And this is where students receive their English language development on the English side of their dual language classroom. Language and literacy is kind of infused throughout both sides of the day. Obviously, language development is a big part of dual language, both in the English and in Spanish. And so they are supported through the dual language intervention block as well. Supportive mainstream are for some students that are either not participating in dual language or currently are 4th through 12th grade students. Their language development instruction is either in a push-in setting that's being co-taught by a multilingual teacher. We offer a first period enrichment at RMS. We have a block that's designated for English language development. And then 3rd period and production lab at the high school is how they get their language services there. General education content is more languages accessible through supports that we offer in the classroom. And that's either strategies that teachers use to support the language or co-planning with the multilingual teacher. So that's how our students, the majority of our students who are not in dual language, receive their ELD support. We do offer at the high school what's called a sheltered content. So this year we're offering a sheltered ML math support course. It's not in replacement of their math class. It is in addition to their math class. It is provided by our ML teacher to provide additional support for our students in math. She works on language development in the math content area and provides a way to support students within the program. And it is really designed for our students in the lowest proficiency of language. So it's not all ML students at the high school get that language support class for math. These are students that are really struggling with keeping up with the math academic content because we feel like it's a language issue. So who makes up our programs? Approximately 72 of our students are served in our K-3 dual language. 2 students in K-3 are served through supportive mainstream. And so when we think about the 74 students in K through 3 at this time, only 2 are not served through dual language. And those 2 students actually were IEP team decisions that they felt like dual language was not the best placement for those multilingual students. So they are served within a supportive mainstream environment. We do have 40 students that are served in our 4th and 5th grade. Just missed the cutoff for dual language. They were born a little bit too early. And then we have 50 students at the middle school and 53 students that are in either Heart, Gravity, or the high school. Last year, 27 of our students reached English language proficiency on the WIDA. That was 8.9% of our population. The state average is 7.9%. So we felt pretty good about that. And now I have questions.
Any questions for Maggie? I hear a motion to approve the transitional bilingual program.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Ed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
I need
the
the last
last
name.
Evans.
EVANS.
Yep.
All right, next item on our agenda is a memorandum of understanding for shared service special education assignments with Oakville School District. Justin, you do it?
Yep, I can do that one. So this is a memorandum of understanding with Rochester Education Association, and it specifically talks about us sharing some special ed. So, the actual employer And we'll be subcontracting some of their time out to fulfill. So this is a memorandum of understanding to make sure our employees are protected and under their bargaining agreement. So,
And we need to approve this.
yes.
Okay.
Yep. It was signed off. It was one of the last signature things that Jennifer did
Okay.
and Vicky did. And so now it's to the board for approval.
Okay. I'll move to approve. So your second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? None. Right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, now pre-construction for contract award for the water system.
Yeah, this one is actually kind of exciting. My first day back from vacation, we get to sit in this room and listen to a couple contractors and do presentations. So we did have 3 contractors put in for the pre-construction, and so all of the general contractors had to submit a statement of qualifications. So, that's anywhere between 20 and probably a 40-page report on their qualifications. It's, let me tell you, some awesome reading. A lot of fun. And then, so then they were scored on their statement of qualifications. They were then, all 3 companies were invited in for, interviews. They were allowed 20 minutes, to show us what they have as a team, introduce their team members, some of their processes and things that they would bring to the table in a pre-designed work. And then after they presented to us for 20 minutes, we got to grill them for 20 minutes. We had a set of questions. So then we then interviewed them as well. And then the following day, all 3 companies submitted their bid for the financial side, what they would be charging us for pre-construction and services and some of the design work. So when it came in, and Ed and Casey and Jill and I sat on the interviews and listened to the teams. There was one interview done the day before I got back. So Ed and Casey took care of that one, along with Todd, our designer from AHBL. Yes, I get his acronyms backwards every once in a while. So so going through this process and after everything was scored, Roglan's Incorporated is the company that won the pre-design section of this. Casey and Ed are here if you have questions of them. I will say Roglan's is out of Aberdeen, and this is the work that they do. They are mainly a water system company, so we feel pretty good to have a company like this with us at the table during pre-design. So, you guys, Casey, Ed, you have something to add? Anything to add that?
I think you really covered it. I think we were very fortunate in the shortlisted firms. We're all pretty much local. 2 of them were, like Justin said, utility contractor focused. And so we were in a position it was a win-win. But we're excited to get going with Roglan's upon your approval of their pre-construction contract. And the only other thing to note is the way this GCCM process works. So we award them a contract for the pre-construction, which is design services and whatnot. And then it'll be late February, early March, we will negotiate a guaranteed maximum price contract with Roglan's for the actual construction. So that's when you'll see the more hefty contract that we'll ask for the board to approve.
And remember, having a company going this route and going through this process allows us to have Roglan's at the table through this design process, which should help keep costs under control. It should reduce the number of change orders. There should be a variety of things that are, it's a value add
Yeah, we're basically shifting the risk onto the contractor, the majority of the risk when it comes to that. And the other part of that is they can, during this pre-construction period, do investigative work. We have a lot of potholing we need to do to locate lines because our as-bills aren't
Perfect.
perfect. So yeah, that's we're very excited to get rolling with Roglins, and if awarded tonight, we will be doing our GCCM kickoff meeting on Tuesday.
And I will say when it was announced that they would be they were pretty happy. They were pretty excited. Like, hey, I get to make a really good phone call right now.
So they would be doing the construction, the whole project.
I'll let you speak to that.
Yes. That's typically how it works. What we will award the pre-construction, so it's just that amount. And then once the design is all done, then they go out for subcontractor bids and put numbers to it. And they submit that and we negotiate the construction contract.
So at that point, you don't invite other bids. from other
Correct.
Companies.
Right. The only time we have the right to say they come in and they can't get on our budget. Then we can go to another company for the construction portion. But in 20 years of managing GCCM projects, I have not had that happen.
And that's the whole one of the whole points of having this process and bringing someone on during the design phase, because then we're able to make sure that both parties can work together on this to get it.
Yeah, they'll be providing cost estimates throughout each milestone of the design to make sure we're on schedule or we're on budget. So at schematic design at 50% design development, like each phase of the design, they put a number to it. And then once the design's all together, then they put out the subcontractor bids and compile that and then submit it. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? No, I could get a motion to approve the GCCM contract for pre-construction services as presented. Thank you. Very second.
I'll second.
Thanks, Neil. No other discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right,
Pretty exciting, that project.
yeah.
I know it's kicked off, but now
Yeah.
now we have a contractor.
I was putting together my agenda for the
Next,
kickoff meeting
Yes.
before it.
yes.
came here. Very excited.
I just need our water system to hang on for another year.
A year, yeah.
It's gonna go fast. It is gonna go.
But kind of the beauty of having these guys as partners is if there's a hiccup with the existing water system, they're a resource to help shore up Ed's crew and
Yeah.
trying to troubleshoot it and keep it going.
Yep. That was another excellent thing about having a utility company as part of it, is the general contractor that like them. So.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, next item, classroom technology.
All right, so this is for interactive panels. These interactive panels, it's Grand Mound's turn, Grand Mound Elementary, and so the ones for the primary school are actually going in currently, but it's time to get the ones for Grand Mound, and so that's what this is for. And then a while from now, I'll come back to you for high school ones. So, yep, this is just next phase.
I'll move to approve the classroom technology as presented. Here, second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Susie. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, public comments.
Nobody online, and I don't think I saw anyone sneak into the room.
All right, so I will, actually we'll adjourn our meeting at 7:09.
Thank you.
We'll take 5-minute break. We're gonna have a closed session.